And Dr. Dondee Nettles, a family chiropractic expert who's been in the business for over about 30 years, so going up on 30 years, he's going to be sharing why GLP-1 and why everyone needs to be on GLP-1. Now, we're going to be talking about products. These are natural products. This is not big pharma. So these are not products that are, evaluated by the FDA or approved by the FDA. Guys, these are natural supplements, food substances. We're talking about like lemon bioflavonoids and eggplant extract. So these are things that are going to naturally, that you consume on a daily basis, but we do not say that they cure, treat, prevent, or mitigate any disease. That would be irresponsible. And of course, when you talk about money or prizes or contests or gifts, everyone results, they're going to vary. So there's no guarantee at all. Now, LifeVantage, if you are new to this discussion, we are the world leader in activation. In fact, we are known as the activation company. If you're looking to activate your body, whether through hair care, skin care, energy, weight management, gut health, or anti-aging, LifeVantage has the most proven, scientifically backed formulas to do so. They're clean, they're non-toxic, they're gluten-free, they're affordable, they smell and taste amazing, and they're safe for everyone, even your dog. Yeah, we have a canine supplement. LifeVantage presents the weight loss system that broke the internet. And I seriously, guys, it broke the internet. If you were here in October, drop a 3 in the chat. We had 200 times the web traffic of our busiest day ever. We are a multi-billion-dollar company. We have sold billions in revenue, and we had 200 times on October 11th that we've ever seen on one day to buy this. In fact, the first batch of product, we had tens of thousands of units sold out in just 13 days. The next batch that came on was sold out in a matter of weeks, guys. And now we're quadrupling our inventory because we understand the time has come. We are moving into weight loss season. But one thing I want you to understand, I'm going to bring on an expert to explain what Mind Body does. You got to understand what activation is, because once you understand it, it makes sense why we activate instead of just taking. We activate instead of injecting. We activate instead of simply supplementing. We take Protandem to make our own antioxidants. We take True Science to make our own collagen. And now we're going to take Mind Body, and we have been, to make our own GLP-1. At LifeVantage, we activate our bodies to make the antioxidants, proteins, enzymes, and all the things that we need for better health and a smaller waistline. Amen, right? This is not old school supplementation. This is not your mama's multivitamin. This is not harmful big pharma experiments that they haven't even done on thousands of people over many years. This is using proven methods, natural herbs, spices, enzymes, amino acids, giving your body what it needs through nutrition and activating it to feel younger, look younger, and thrive. Guys, this is my honor to bring on one of my good friends. I mean, goodness, this couple. We love Dr. Dondee, and then he has his hot wife, Marcy, who's just enough. She almost doesn't need an introduction. They are a power couple. Dr. Dondee is an expert when it comes to nutrition. He's a top executive consultant with LifeVantage. He's a commissioned chaplain through the Ascend International Apostolic Center, a disciple of Christ. Almost 30 years he's practiced as a family wellness chiropractor, former AM radio show host. He's been a huge advocate for longevity and wellness his entire career. And he goes by Marcy's husband. I was like, oh, is that just love or what? It's Marcy's husband. And he's a father of 4 and a grandfather of 3. So such a family man. Dr. Dondee, I wanted you to pop on really quickly because I know enough to be dangerous, but you can tell us exactly. I watched a video of you the other day sharing why we need GLP-1. And even as somebody who is fairly thin, it was so compelling. So I was like, whoa. You mean this is not just about weight loss? I mean, it is. I mean, it really is. But whoa, tell us what GLP-1 is and how this product all works.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Rachel. And it is such an honor to be here. Happy New Year, everybody. Merry Christmas. And just thank you so much for this opportunity. Well, first and foremost, when we were talking previously, I want to talk about what this is not. And we mentioned it, and I'm going to mention it. This is not a natural alternative to the Ozempics and the Wegovy's and the Mounjaros. It's not a natural alternative. If anything, this is the gold standard. So those are synthetic alternatives to what we have here. Let's just really call this what it is. This is the system. And what is GLP-1? So by its name, glucagon-like protein or glucagon-like peptide 1. So what is glucagon? You have to understand what that is to understand really the power of GLP-1. Well, think about glucagon. What is it? Think of it. I'll give you a way to memorize it. When glucose is gone, your pancreas releases glucagon. And what is it? It is the attempt by your body to maintain blood sugar, because we don't do good with low blood sugar. We don't do good with high blood sugar. We do good with balanced blood sugar. That's the body's natural objective. It's the body's natural state. It's what it's constantly striving for, which is called homeostasis, or in this case, balanced blood sugar. So when our blood sugar is low, as detected by the body will release glucagon. Or if we don't eat, and because we're not getting caloric GLP, or we're not getting caloric intake in, we're not getting food calories that way, your bodies will release GLP-1 hormone, which makes you hungry. So when your body is hungry, you go eat. When things are working properly, and let me preface that, when things are working properly and your blood sugar drops, you get hungry. When you get hungry, you eat. When you eat, you chew food. And I'm going to break down this very simple and very basic mechanism here. When you're chewing food, the inside of your mouth is perceiving the concentration of fats, carbohydrates, and proteins to tell your stomach exactly what concentration of stomach acid to produce to break it down properly, and then keep it in your stomach so that you stay fuller longer. That's the normal mechanism. As your body is getting ready to release that food from your stomach into your intestines, the intestines are kind of getting ready for it. So if they could just kind of pick up the phone and give the pancreas a call and say, hey, we got some food coming your way. We're going to need some insulin to break down or absorb this glucose. Kind of think of it this way. If you have glucose and it needs to get into the cell, because that is the food that your cells need, especially your muscles. Think of it like this. You're standing on one side of a river. You are the glucose. The other side of the river is inside the cell, you're outside the cell, and the river is the cell membrane or the cell wall. But you can't swim, so you need help. So think of it this way. Insulin is like a kayak. You jump in the kayak, you go across the river from outside the cell to inside the cell. That's the relationship with insulin and glucose coming from the food that you eat. Asterisk. If you are not producing GLP-1, there's a reason. Because, and most people, I'm going to put it this way, these are the statistics, these are the hard numbers. This is the unfortunate reality of the healthcare status in our country. 74% of US adults are overweight, and 36% of them are obese, and the vast majority of those obese people are not producing GLP-1 at all, like zero. Because they don't have time to get hungry. They're always eating, and I'm not being crass, I'm being realistic, because they're either eating emotionally or they're eating visually. When we see those nice commercials for pizza, Little Caesars on TV in between sporting events, you call up and you order a pizza when you weren't even hungry. DoorDash and Uber Eats make it very convenient. So if that is your eating mechanism, you don't ever have time to get hungry, so your body's not producing GLP-1 because there's no need for it. Or you're just eating because you're emotional. You're eating because you're happy. You're eating because you're sad. You're eating because you're depressed. There's a lot of emotional eaters out there. That system, eventually, if you do it over and over and over again, it breaks the GLP-1 system. And then your body starts craving, guess what? What's in your blood. It starts craving what's in your blood. The sugar, the processed foods, the food that has ingredients you can't pronounce. And if you can't pronounce it, your body can't digest it. So put it back on the bottle and say, no thanks. So the whole system of GLP-1 starts with your liver, your pancreas, your GI tract, your cardiovascular system, and your brain. It's called the gut gut-brain axis. When your pancreas secretes insulin, slows your digestion, it suppresses your appetite because you have food. You're no longer hungry. When you're not hungry, the cravings go down. It supports cardiovascular health because you're getting the glucose that everything needs, and it's neuroprotective, meaning it protects the brain. It's the neuroprotective mechanism of the gut-brain axis when it's working normally. And this is the normal system. So when we have these people with type 2 diabetes, or we have these people that are overweight and they're obese, and the GLP-1 mechanism is broken, think of it like if you've ever been to the Ripley's Believe It or Not Wax Museum, and you go in there and you see Brad Pitt. And it's like, oh, I got to take a selfie with Brad Pitt. So you take a selfie next to the wax statue, you post it on Facebook, and people are like, no. That's not Brad Pitt. That's a wax statue. Or Taylor Swift, all the Swifties getting pictures with the wax version of Taylor Swift. It's synthetic, guys. It's not real. That's how your body looks at the synthetic GLP-1. It resembles, it's kind of, yeah, I can kind of tell who that is, but it's not real. If you took them home, they're not going to fly on the plane with you. You can't get them out of the building. It's fake. So in this situation, all of those semaglutides, liraglutides, Wegovy, Mounjaro, Ozempic, they're all fake versions of this. They're synthetic versions of this. And I'm going to break it down to the grassroots effort here. When you equip the body, yeah.
Before you dive in, one thing that I recently heard, and you were sharing on different webinars because you teach us every week, was also like, let's say that the wax statue is somewhat compelling to the body, right away, but it doesn't last for long. They figure it out really quickly, and that's why a lot of people, they get on these shots and injections, and they might see a little results with usually some side effects, but then all of a sudden they're like, you got me. Like, they're like, no, we don't recognize this anymore. Almost like the receptors go blind, and they're like, yeah, that's your wax statue.
Yeah, that's exactly how it happens. You can trick it for a while, but your body will always figure out it's being tampered with or manipulated. So kind of what I was about to say is like when you equip your body with what it needs, it will always respond appropriately. And that's what wellness is. That's what health and vitality is. But when you manipulate or you trick the body into what you think it needs, it will always object. And that objection is the side effect. You may be able to trick it for a while, but you can't trick it forever, and it will figure out it's being tricked and it will no longer work. You go off the product, you gain all the weight back. That's the mechanism of a broken system. So when we have this take it to make it, this GLP-1 mind-body approach, it's the natural mechanism your body was created for. So we are the activation company. We will always be the first. We figured out how this whole system works and made it super simple. That's why this can be, for the people that are looking for the science, it'll blow their hair off because it is that scientific. It is that compelling. But we don't want to talk about the intricacies of the science because it could bore a lot of people, or most people, would go over their head. The basics is this is so simple. In fact, this system, with the 2 capsules of the MB Core and the 4 scoops of the MB Enhanced, it can't be any simpler than this. So your relationship with food, your gut-brain axis to quiet the cravings, quiet the hunger pains that you have. It's when the system is broken. You crave what's in your blood. When you start getting good, nutritious food in your blood, and your body starts actually getting good nutrition, whole foods, and the mechanism starts working properly, guess what? You don't crave the crap anymore. You don't have the food cravings. You don't have going back for seconds and thirds because the system, once you're full, you're full. Your body knows it. It turns the system off and your body works flawlessly that way. So it's this whole toxic cycle of emotional eating, visual eating that breaks the system in the first place. And the longer people get on it, the more unhealthy they get. Well, this brings it right back to square one and simplicity, that with a healthy, sustainable weight loss. And it's way more than weight loss. Well, just think of it this way. Weight loss is a positive outcome of when the human body is working properly as it relates to the GLP-1 or gut-brain axis normal system. Weight loss is just the natural byproduct of that. And a lean, healthy, mean, fully functioning body when you honor your body. Think of it this way. Food is fuel. If you honor your body and you're giving it the best quality fuel, it will always respond accordingly. But when you have a craving or you need sugar or sweets or whatever, it doesn't respond that way because cravings are not the best thing for your body. Cravings are the distraction what happens when the system is broken. This restores the proper system. And if you can go to the next slide, Rach, it'd be super fantastic. So, and with the results of this, 27% loss of visceral fat, reduced cravings, being satiety, this is the simplicity. Taking the MB system is simple. It's just 2 capsules in the morning with just plain water, and then wait 30 to 45 minutes with nothing else in your system except the water that you take the MB core with. 30 to 45 minutes later, you take the powders. 2 to 4, up to 4, and I would advise you to slowly work your way into it, especially if you've never been activated before, especially if you've never had good nutrition before. Because think of it this way. If you have 100 people that are all the same age, same height, same weight, same everything, they all start the product, they could have literally 100 different experiences because you start where your body starts. You're all different. That's one of the worst things you can do is compare yourself to someone else. Think of it this way. How are you doing on hydration? How are you doing on nutrition? How are you doing on movement? How are you doing on sleep and rest? How are you doing on mindset? These are all variables that are highly in play when you begin this system. So if you see somebody who loses a lot of weight real quick and they're losing inches too, and you jump on the scale and you haven't lost any weight and maybe you've gained weight and you haven't lost any inches, you're thinking this isn't working. No, 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 no. Let me caution you on that. It is always working. It's just, what is your body's hierarchy of need? What does your body need first? So when you activate your body and you're now activating GLP-1 hormone, maybe your pancreas needs to start figuring out how to produce insulin sufficiently again before you lose weight. Maybe your stomach has to learn how to process bowel movements optimally for the first time in a long time before you start losing weight. So all kinds of things are falling into place based on your body's hierarchy of needs. That's the difference between supplementation and activation. When you activate 10 different people, they all start at 10 different places. They're going to have 10 different outcomes based on their 10 different needs when they start. Your body has its own hierarchy of needs. Do not dismiss that. Do not underestimate that. Just honor that. Whether you're losing weight, not losing weight, gaining weight, dropping inches or not, it doesn't matter. Give it time. This is not a 3-day, 5-day, 1 week, 10 week. This is at least a 12-week system. And Marcy and I will be taking this for the rest of our lives, but just simply due to the fact of how much money we're saving in food, because we don't have the cravings anymore. We don't have the going back for seconds. I don't have the pantry screaming my name at 2 o'clock in the morning, waking me up saying, come down and get some gluten-free crackers and some almond butter. That doesn't happen anymore. So the money we're saving on food, we are now purchasing this. In fact, it's a surplus. So this is something that's paying us money, obviously through the business. It's saving us money in food, and it's allowing our bodies to work the way God designed them to work. And same with all of you guys. And it is super, super simple. So Rach, we've seen all kinds of before and after pictures, and we've heard hundreds and hundreds and thousands of stories that are out there in the community. What are some of these ones that you're excited about and that you're hearing?
Oh my God, I wish we could make this more like an hour long. You guys have to run to your Facebook groups to see some of the biggest update sends. But where are my guys at? Where are my guys at who are saying, you know what, I do not want to wear a t-shirt at the pool this summer, right? You want to like say no to the dad bod, or maybe you have an exceptional amount of weight that you need to lose. I mean, look at Lucian down 14 pounds, almost 3 inches in his waist in a matter of weeks. We are seeing people just shed a lot of that really toxic visceral fat quickly. People are using Bluetooth and smart scales to actually track some of the more in-depth things. So they're like, wow, I lost 2 pounds, but I've lost 8 inches. It's like, whoa, something really dramatically positive is happening in your body fat. Where are my ladies at? Where are my ladies at? Where are my moms at? You know, postpartum is definitely a challenging time to regain your health and your, you know, vitality, and as well as your physique. There's a lot that's demanded on you. I loved this story on the left. It was a 6-week story of 10 pounds, 5 inches, an amazing sleep after chasing with her 1-year-old. Kim Kibinsi in this photo, Kim Kibinsi is down about 16 pounds in about a month and a half, and you can see the dramatic difference in her weight. And then I love on the right here, I'm screaming. I finally broke through the plateau, down 5.5 pounds, 8.25 inches, over 1.5% body fat. And guys, the photos keep pouring in every single day. I love it. Again, whether it be gentlemen, Dondee always talks about the importance of belly fat and how really dangerous it is for us to metabolically be carrying our weight there, because visceral fat surrounding our organs is a comorbidity to many, many diseases. But look at the middle. This is my favorite quote. You can't suck in back fat. You can't suck in back fat. It's impossible to do, right? What's happening is leaning out. We're reducing a lot of bloat. You're, getting that body fat percentage on point. Everything's tightening and toning. And this is not, again, starting a dramatic weightlifting challenge, although you can certainly be more active and be mindful of your movement. These are people that are just activating their hormones the way that it should be. Again, the backs, the smoothing, the muffin top melters. Look at this one in the middle, 2.4 pounds lost, but 13 inches down. Even her bust looks lifted. Angie Harper on the right, incredible transformation. She's getting abs again for the first time in 20 years. And the stories. When Dondee said it's not just about weight loss, that's when it hit me the most, because here's what we started to get: anxiety, bowel movement regulation, GI, everything, no cravings. And this might be somebody who's a naturally thin person, but has a really crazy sugar addiction that's not healthy for them. They could still become pre-diabetic. People that have even been able to quit smoking or other things that were really bad. I have a girlfriend that has literally drank almost no alcohol since starting GLP-1 because she doesn't have a taste for it anymore. People are losing inches and pounds. And again, it's not a race. You're not comparing yourself to anybody. Dondee has explained to us, Dr. Jeff has explained to us, we've learned it from all these experts, that your bio-individuality matters with your own challenge. So you might be that we're going to fix your gut, or it might be that we're going to fix your endocrine system, or you might be going to fix some of the stress and add per tandem nerve 2 into this challenge. I highly recommend doing so, but the results are incredible. And we have incredible news, because we did break the internet in October. We stuck broken. We stayed them there broken. We stayed broken in November and part of December, and we are no longer in back order. We are no longer in back order. Can I get an amen? Yahoo! This is so exciting that we have the warehouses are loaded, and it couldn't be a better time. What is your New Year's resolution? Because we are now entering what we call in the business weight loss season. And I know for many of us are coming off of the holidays or vacations, but at any given time, 82% of American adults are managing their weight in some form or fashion. 120 million people are actively trying to lose weight. And for me, guys, I'm looking at the trends, right? Nearly half of Americans are set to be obese by 2030. We are just 5 years away from that, my friends. There are already states where half of them are. There are the highest obesity states. Half of Americans are obese. These are people we love. These are people we care about. And these are people, many of those have tried the shots, are interested in the shots, had bad results with the shots, can't afford those pharmaceutical options, struggle. And you know what? I think it's so hard. Dondee, you hit on this briefly. We beat ourselves up with the toxic diet culture. For years and years and years, my girlfriends, myself included, we were raised that diet was a thing of willpower. That if you were just strong enough, and if you just were controlled enough and you had enough willpower and motivation, that you could say no to those Oreo cookies in the pantry. And that you didn't, when you were grocery shopping, if you just didn't buy it, then you'd be okay. And then it became Uber Eats and DoorDash, and every single store and every single kiosk and end cap has something that's delicious and changing and accessible and affordable. Guys, our current world makes it not so easy for us. And our body, evolutionary, God designed us to pack on pounds. Why? Because calories weren't as common back then. There wasn't a Starbucks and a McDonald's and a Taco John's on every corner. And now we have like, yeah, there's a gas station with all the treats and 72 varieties of potato chips that you could go in every single week and get a different flavor of Lay's and never have the same thing. GLP-1 is a market to watch. GLP-1 is a market to get behind. And I had to share the trends before we get into this challenge so you understand how much we are going all in on mind body, because this is a $38 billion market that is set to be upwards of 200 billion in the next 6 years. That is an 8-fold increase, which means tens of millions of lives are going to be positively affected because of how they feel and how they sleep and what they eat and how long they live. And gosh darn it, the things they don't experience because they're no longer morbidly obese.
Awesome. I think we have a couple to share their story, right, Rach?
Yeah, I'm super excited from Nebraska. Greg and Shauna Mucklow, who are not only incredible top executives with our company, super innovative. They've been a part of so much strategy when it comes to the behind the scenes of promoting social media, etc. They got their hands on the product a little earlier than most through something called Club 55. And they started their journey and they've been so gracious to track and update the results like every few weeks. So I wanted to get you guys on, especially as like a couple, because kind of now we're talking both male and female, but what it meant for you guys like doing this together. Obviously we see results. Tell us how you feel. Congratulations as well, down 27 pounds.
I have goosebumps listening to this call and everything this has done. You guys, this has been nothing short of life-changing for me. That's what I can say. When I've listened to all the things and how the GLP-1 works, it's exactly what happened to me. Like, exactly. I have struggled with weight my entire life, and I always thought it was my fault. And now I know that there was a biological reason that my body wasn't letting go of weight. And it's probably because my GLP-1 hormone has been out of whack for so long. I feel more in control and empowered to do life than I ever have before and feel better in so many ways. I'm down over 25 plus pounds and I always tried to eat right. I'm still working on trying to exercise more, but it couldn't fit more simply into my world. And I'm so grateful. How about you, Greg?
Yeah, I would echo everything you said. It's been really interesting just for myself. I work out more than Shauna does, and that was something that I just did regularly.
He's right.
But I would also snack a lot more than Shauna ever did.
He's also right.
So those cravings for the late night snacks are, almost within the first week were just kind of gone. I started to notice, hey, I'm not snacking at night. I'm not eating. I don't crave sugars. I used to be my kids would call me the pastry guy because I just eat pastries all the time. But a lot of those cravings for the sugars and the snacking at night have just gone away. And that's been a big blessing at this point in time. And it's really cool at this point. That's all.
Yeah, I love the fact that Greg worked out all the time, but unfortunately he was still gaining, like something in his body wasn't working right. And he was still gaining. He was getting pretty frustrated by it, honestly. And now all of a sudden the switch just flipped. And now he's continuing to do some of the same things, eating a little bit better with the help of this. It's like a best friend, like your best friend ally is now with you all the time, helping you make good choices. That's how I can put it. It's like it activated my willpower. Apparently I never had willpower before.
You and me both. Shauna, what would you tell couples that are thinking about doing this?
Do it, do it, do it. When your spouse or someone you love is helping you stay accountable and you're talking through things with them like we constantly do, it's so much easier. It's helpful. It's empowering together. Plus we're getting like hotter together. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think I would also say it's very simple. Like Dondee said, 2 pills in the morning with just water, and then you take the powder whenever. I think sometimes people overthink it. I think also sometimes people think it's going to be a magic switch, and if they don't see something in 3 days, then they're frustrated with it. And really, it's more about a long-term like change versus just a quick fix.
Really good point. Really good point. It's a tool, an incredible tool. in your guys' metabolic tool belt. So congratulations to Shauna and Greg. I really appreciate you guys being on and sharing so like vulnerably your results. You've inspired the entire community. So imagine knowing what you're doing internally for your heart and your liver and your pancreas and all the cells that are happier by putting good stuff in your body. Think about how good it'll feel to finally have your gut regulated. Feel how good it will feel. Imagine the possibility of running into your ex at the store and them saying, whoa. Imagine the possibilities of having the courage and confidence to go for that promotion this year because you look good and you feel good. Imagine the possibilities of growing closer with your spouse, taking healthier steps together. Imagine the possibilities with mind body. 2025 is the year to activate and thrive. God bless, and this call is officially a wrap.